What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another Tuesday edition of Crypto Connoisseurs. We got a big one for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and we will attempt to educate, or at least make some educated assumptions based on where we think the market is going. We knew that 30,000 was a really strong psychological support place. I don't know. I'm not a TA guy, but it was support, and we've fallen below that, right? So what does that mean? Where are we headed? What should you be doing? Should you be freaking out and selling everything and going and applying for any job that you can get, McDonald's or whatever janitor positions might be a good idea? Or is there something else going on that is behind the scenes that we don't know about, or something else? So tonight's show, we got a all-star lineup. We have everybody on here well, not everybody, but everybody in here has been an OG, that's for sure, in the space. Everyone here has been here for a while. So I'm really thrilled to have our guest tonight. We got Coach K, which I know you guys love. Coach K gives it to you straight up, even if you don't like to hear what he says. Sometimes I wish I could just mute him because, it's Coach, and it's always very, very brutally honest. And then we've got Shash from Altcoin Buzz. Shash has, Altcoin Buzz has been around for a long, long time. And this guy has been in the industry for forever. And so we will get some good insights from him. First time on the show. And we've got Ivan, good old Ivan on tech, coming on the show in a little bit to talk to us about, macro conditions and major adoption, because one thing that I always talk about is really we need infrastructure in order for adoption to be had. Bitcoin is more or less set up as infrastructure, but of course things like Lightning Network, which we might go into if we have time, is important for it to be used by everybody. But we all know that right now we're hodling because it's just too volatile as a currency. But anyway, guys, let's remind you here to you guys make sure that you like this. Everybody liking, you got to like, subscribe, and share, because as you may know or may not know, my goal is to conduct the largest giveaway ever in crypto, and maybe on YouTube. I have no idea. But how do we do that? Well, we got this Crypto Cases giveaway, and the minimum goal that we're going for is $1 million, and we'll get there one way or another, but we will be giving away $1 million. We're already a fifth of the way there, and a lot of these projects haven't even launched yet. And we are giving, these project founders were generous and kind enough to give you, the viewers, gifted private sale allocation into the projects. And as we saw in Q1 of this year, these easily can be doing big returns, right? So we definitely need the market to turn around for this to be achievable. So we're just not going to give anything away until market turns around, but we'll just make sure this thing is massive. But you guys need to be participating, and we need to make sure that we add value to the projects that are willing to contribute their private sale to this giveaway. So make sure that you smash the likes and share and spread the word, guys. Get people to subscribe, because the bigger the audience that we have, the more engagement we have, the bigger we can get these numbers. Let's get products to give us $20,000, $30,000 in private sale allocation, and we can do that if we have a big enough audience to bring that value here, right? So the projects so far that have contributed, we've got HoDooi, we've got Polytrade, Finance, Ally, Pera Finance, and we've got Aaron from Pera on here tonight to tell you about the project in just a minute here. FormationFi, EmiSwap, Omni, Plutos, Bright Union, Decubate, Demodyfi, Creator, Drife, PureFi, and AnRkeyX. AnRkeyX, as you guys may or may not know, both Coach and I are part of that project. It fits right in line with with the narrative that the only things that are really performing in this market right now are NFT blockchain-based games, play to earn, right? So we'll go into that a little bit as well with Axie Infinity and things like that. But we've seen AnRkeyX, do some impressive numbers the past week, jumping up over 100%. And that's because the main game, Battle Wave, is about to launch this coming week. And that's exactly the narrative that is in a bullish market right now. So guys, let's bring on Aaron first. And from Pera Finance, Aaron, how's it going?
Hey, Kyle. Nice to be in here. Thanks. I'm doing fine. What about yourself?
Doing great, man. Thanks for coming on tonight. This is a really, really cool project, guys. A lot of I really appreciate projects that are attempting to, think about innovative ways to support projects that are just launching, that need liquidity, and that, I was talking to somebody else the other day, entirely different project, but, also thinking about how to help the newly launched projects, the smaller caps, medium caps, that really need volume. But this is good for so many other things, right? So Aaron, why don't you dive in and tell us a little bit about Pera?
Sure. We are a new DeFi project out of DAO Maker. We have launched like 10 days ago. And since this is a downturn market, I think we haven't got the traction we were waiting for now. But we are basically a decentralized trading competition infrastructure, which is a main missing point in the DeFi space. Because as you know, in DeFi, all the farming rewards are distributed to LPs, but LPs need active traders in order to get the exchange fees and in order to subsidize their supplied capital. And there is no tool to boost the trading volumes. That's what we are bringing. As Pera Finance, we will be implementing decentralized and customizable trading competition for all the AMM types DEXs. For example, when we implement our underlying technology, PancakeSwap, UniSwap, QuickSwap, all these DEXs will have their own trading competition for the pools they are asking. And the Pera token is the first implementation and the proof of concept of this new technology. Our Pera token has an inbuilt trading competition. It's fully decentralized, and every single day we are tracking every single Pera transaction, on-chain Pera transaction, and rewards top 10 traders that interacts with the Pera smart contract. And we will be implementing this system to the other AMMs as well. It's going to be a volume boost, especially for the newly launching projects. And that's why we have been connecting with launchpads, and that's how we met with Kyle as well for the Ignition. We will be implementing this technology for the Ignition projects as well. And the projects can use it for many purposes. For example, if they are running a 2-week liquidity mining campaign, just like most of the project does, they can just attach this trading competition and volume boosters in order to both please their LPs and in the meantime the traders. And we are currently working on that, and at the end of this quarter it's going to be totally ready, and all the AMMs will have their own trading competition.
Thanks. When will we be able to kick off the first trading competition?
The first trading competition is for the Pera tokens. It's fully active right now. If people just go and buy and sell or transfer or add new liquidity with Pera tokens, they are now part of the competition. They can just go and check our dashboard. It's a daily ranking for the top 10 traders. And it's fully functional right now. If people want to see how a decentralized and daily trading competition works, they can just come and learn more about Pera Finance.
Cool. And so when will other
projects?
For example, when will paid be able? When can we do our trading competition?
Now we are testing the generalized protocol. I think it's going to be ready in 1 or 1.5 months. At the end of this quarter, it's going to be fully functional and ready to implement for all the projects and all the AMM pools. So the paid tokens will have their own trading competition as well, if you wish.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like the reason, guys, that I'm excited about this is, we always need more volume from projects. More volume, more activity, and ways to bring attention to projects. So I think this is amazing, Aaron. Thank you so much for contributing to the giveaway. It's really appreciated. Is there anything else that you wanted to add before you go?
It's a pleasure to work with you guys. And as far as I see, with the current market status, we are the biggest contributors. and we hope to stay in the first rank as well down the road. Thanks a lot.
Cool. Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will catch you soon.
Thanks a lot.
All right, guys. That was that. All right, let's bring in the guests. Shash, what's happening, brother? How's it going?
Hey, Kyle. So good to meet you, man. So great to be on this show as well. How you been? I'm been pretty good.
Yeah, good, man. Very, very, very good. Well, you know, I think all of us are cringing a little bit right now with market. You know, it's like it's so much easier to do life when we're in a bull market, right? Like things are just like you know, life is just way easier. Coach,
so true.
What's up, brother?
I'm good. How are you, man?
Yeah, all good, man.
A lot of people could be better, but you know, it is what it is. We're used to this. We've been here before.
Yeah.
So I mean, we can handle it. We got diamond hands, bro.
Ivan.
Hey guys, you hear me? Check.
Yeah. How's it going, man?
All good. How are you?
Yeah, doing good, man. How you handling things?
Well, it's all good. We've been, if you guys have been following, we've been looking at the 30K level. Seems that it's breaking now, but I think for the past few months it's been clear. You know, we're not breaking any moving averages. We're going down, so this is not completely unheard of what's happening now. But I think too many people got a bit too excited. You know, as soon as we pumped from 30 to 33, now everyone is so excited. It's gonna be a new bull. No. Look, we're still in a huge bear trend, but look, it's only short term. I think that with all the developments we're seeing and all the new tech that is happening, but most importantly, because tech is not that important, but most importantly, the stable coins are here and people are not cashing out to fiat. That's the most important thing. Of course, tech is important long term, but in terms of, you know, how fast we'll come out of this bear bull cycle, it's not about the tech. It's about, will people put back funds or not? So because of the stablecoin amount, there's a good chance that it may be shorter than expected. But let's see, guys. Let's see.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that that we'll go into in a little bit, Ivan, is infrastructure and you know, I always think that in order for us to have, you know, mass adoption, we really need what I always like to call like grammar friendly or just grammar friendly apps and developer friendly you know, toolkits, right? And that's why I've been such a big fan of Substrate, for example, Polkadot, because they make it, you know, very, very entrepreneur friendly as far as building out your own blockchain, to have your own logic, things like that. I think things like this are critical for moving the space in the right direction for adoption. You know, there's one thing that has been doing really well though, right? It's this NFT gaming. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's done, at least for now. Like Axie's already down over 50% from the top. Same with TLM, Alice. I mean, I played all those trades. That was the last time I traded. I hadn't traded for 3 weeks. I traded KMD, Axie, all the gaming stuff, TLM, Sand. And then when I saw everything not getting better and it was basically a sector that was going to do well, I started taking profit heavily. And right now is not a time you do a long-term trade. You do short-term stuff, you get 10%, 20%, 30%, and you don't be greedy. Okay?
How about
or
from,
even
okay. Coach, we'll get into trading and risk management in a little bit, but I'm talking about more on like, you know, I think that one of the reasons why there was so much attention brought to this right now is because of like, because of it's a different type of audience that's actually engaging this sector, right? It's you know, well, I guess for example, like let's just take a look at this video real quick.
You would need to invest in 3 of these to play Axie. You would need to invest in 3 of these very special NFT pets. But recently, due to increasing demand and rising transaction fees, the cost to buy them has increased significantly. This has made Axie unaffordable for a lot of people.
For Axie University, our main focus at the moment is to provide scholarships, which we actually offer Axie teams, and then they're going to play, so they could actually earn for themselves, especially for those who are really affected by the pandemic.
And already graduated in college, and I don't have any work yet. Most of the company, they don't need any employee anymore. I feel frustrated that time because I feel like there's nothing I can do to help my family. I have my younger brother and sister, but that's why I need to help them. Axie University, it's a company who wanted to help the people like me. I treated it as a work because if you want to earn in that game, you have to commit in that game. You have to play it daily, to play hard. I guess the highest earning possible in that is 15,000 per month. But that's fine because the regular jobs that I see here in the Philippines, they offer 10,000 a month.
So I mean, there's a, I think from most of us who are watching this, and certainly all of us on this show tonight, like we probably don't care about $200 or $300 a month, but there's a massive amount of people in the planet who I mean, even probably a lot of people in the United States and things like that are out of jobs right now could probably benefit from $200 or $300 a month. I think this is what makes it particularly interesting, that it becomes a genuine source of revenue where you don't have to take any risk or like no risk involved in that. And I think that I actually wasn't even aware of this idea of this play to earn. But I got a question for you. Like, how is this a sustainable model? Like how do people just play and earn money, and where's the value come from in these things?
Well, they have to buy the Axies, right? And I think that's what it came down to. Like, you could buy them for a few bucks way back in the day. I remember one of the guys in my group, Masadi, was like, yo, man, this SLP love potion. I was like, this sounds so dumb to me at the time. But he was like in it and he was playing, and then he like checked when Axie mooned, and he's like, dude, some of these things are worth like $800, and he paid $2 for them. So, it's definitely something that works. Will it work long term? I don't know. We're seeing now what it can handle. Like, is it going to drop back down to like $2, $3? Is it going to go back up to $20, $30? So now we have to kind of see, they got the user base, 500,000 users are using it. So it's massive. Like, World of Warcraft is about 17 or 18 times that, that's pretty incredible how many people are playing it if you look at that. Because I think that's the most played game in the world, World of Warcraft, or one of the most played. So it gives a good perspective of people are really into this. And there's probably a lot of people who can benefit from even $20 a month. There's countries in the world that $100 a month would be more than your mom makes or dad makes. So it's a really big opportunity for people. And I've seen a lot of people in the Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand even has had a huge group of people started playing it. And that's great. I love it. I think it's good for the economy. People can actually make money and not actually, have to get money from governments. So it's positive, net positive for sure.
Shash, you're quite vocal about it, right? What do you think?
I think it's a whole ecosystem, right? Like, there is so much that you can do in it. You can breed them, you can trade them, you can play with them. There's so much that can be done with it. And I think blockchain gaming has been one of the most exciting things for me since like 2018, when I first minted my first NFT, and I was like, wow, this is so crazy. And I've been always excited about seeing where this heads. And I think the problem is that the amount of speculation with this, especially Axie, is so high that till it's getting speculated, there will be other games which will follow a similar trend. And we've seen this in crypto so many times. Like, DeFi comes up and somebody makes EmiSwap, and then you have SushiSwap, AnRkeyX. So, all these swaps come out and all of them do well. And then, there is so much speculation on it that the reality and the actual value kind of comes to a halt for a while. And it has to, right? Like, the numbers are crazy. For the number of people actually playing Axie, the value of it is a bit crazy. So if you buy it now, the fact that you lose money is not going to be, unheard of. Like, it is going to happen for sure. But the most important aspect of this is, will it last, right? I think that's the question. And will Axie last, and will games last as well? And I think games like Axie will survive for a while. And the reason is because I think a lot of people will see an excitement with this. It's easy to understand, it's easy to grasp, it's easy to play, it's easy to do stuff in it. But personally for me, I would never play a game with like cute little cloud looking dolls ever, right? Like, you don't expect me to do that. So And I don't expect people to do it for not money, right? Who are you playing against? Like, there is a community. Gaming is so much about community, and the community is the kind of people you want to interact with. But I don't want to interact with people who are playing to make a living out of. Like, am I doing a charity? Am I giving them money? What's happening here? But there is a whole system that works in the way things are happening in Philippines, Indonesia, Vietnam, India, etc. And I learned this with Uber in India. What had happened is when Uber launched in India, people couldn't afford cars. But what people did is like they set up these, they bought like 10 cars and then they hired people on a monthly basis, and they would earn, like they would charge, let's say 10,000 rupees per person. They would pay a salary and they would make like 25,000 rupees as, income from it. And they would keep the rest. Like it's simple business. So what people are also doing is they're investing in Axis, getting kids to play with it, and they're making money as well. By kids, I mean people who are adults as well, because this can be converted into a scalable business as well. But it all boils down to the price of Axie at the end of the day. If you're going to make a lot of it and that price tanks, then you would not be so excited to play with it, and all the business around it will tank as well. So I think it's too early to talk about it. But that said, blockchain gaming is going to become huge regardless. I think the concept of metaverse is unbelievable.
Yep.
And what's going to happen in that sector is something that I've always been super excited about. And it's coming to life now. Like there is so much reality with it now.
Yeah. Well, first of all, when you said kids playing, I mean, I think I definitely know Coach and I are big kids. We're definitely not going to grow up. Ivan maybe a little bit, but he seems to be a big kid at heart too. Like when I feel, you know, when I'm at a crypto conference, I feel like everybody I meet is still a kid, and we just just seem to. So we all like to, you know, to have some fun, but so
no, but you know, the gaming side is very interesting because I think it will be a very big. We've seen it with RuneScape in the past. It's just that some players, they want to real world trade for assets, and World of Warcraft and RuneScape, they restrict that. So I really have to go, you know, into black markets to buy things in RuneScape or World of Warcraft, because the companies don't want real world trading. While Axis, it's all about, you know, real world. You trade real money. You give me this pet, give me this item. So this is really the dream for all of these people who have been working for World of Warcraft or RuneScape, and selling the gold that they farmed or items they farmed. But now it's way easier because it's built into the game. So I think it will be absolutely huge. And it's just that some assets are difficult to get, and you have to grind. I don't know how Axie works. I'm not very deep into that, but it looks amazing. But in other games, you know, some assets you have to spend hours like killing monsters, doing chopping trees, doing different things. And some players don't want to do that, just want to pay $20 from someone who's done it already. So it's like mining. I see it as mining. You know, Bitcoin miners, they produce Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. These guys, they mine in game. They produce these assets and the in-game gold and stuff like that. And yeah, actually, the growth. I don't know what happened with them last few months. How they hit some kind of critical mass, and then it just blew up. But it's really great to see.
Yeah, they like, you know, I think on the larger picture, you know, when it comes down to these really kind of poor graphics and just entry level things like you're talking about, Shash, like we're at the very precipice of this incredible transformation in how the majority of humans on this planet spend their time. You know, I think we've all seen the Ready Player One, and when we talk about metaverses, you know, I've invested in quite a few different metaverses that are being built, and I think we're a little ways away from that. But I mean, I can imagine, and you know, I mean, what is it? Is it? Yeah, I mean, I'm confident that we will be at a place, probably in, I don't know, 20 years or something, where your virtual reality experience is 99.9% as authentic as your real life experience, right? And when we do that, everything becomes incredibly efficient, right? You want to go on a vacation to Bora Bora for a week, no problem, throwing your goggles, you're there. You know, while you're there, if you want to drive on a yacht, you just charter someone's NFT based yacht and go on that experience, for example. I mean, this is a little bit ways in the future, but right now this is the very, very beginning of the transition into what I think we're going to be spending much more time in a virtual reality kind of world. And this is why, you know, when I was talking to the guys over at Ultra back in the day, you know, there's so much stress on their NFT marketplace is because this is, you know, like Ivan was saying, you know, people have to work really, really hard sometimes to get these assets, you know, win these assets, and then you could just sell them. And it makes a lot of sense. I guess the thing that I like the most about this is it's really attracting people from outside the crypto space. And this is what we've been, one of the things that I think a lot of us have been asking, what is that killer app? What's going to bring in people that aren't just coming in for money, well, I guess they would be as well, but at least it's attracting a new type of person.
I think Open Steam would be like a killer app, in my opinion. Like the big problem with the growth of the metaverse or the whole NFT gaming in general, or crypto gaming, whether it's a currency or an NFT within the game, the big issue is that distribution is still restricted to Steam at this moment, right? And we need an open Steam which is not charging 5% for every transaction that's taking place over the games as well. So one of the things that I've been looking for actually is somebody who's building, an ecosystem which allows for people to just plug into a distribution network of games that allow for trading and has a marketplace and everything is out there. We don't have that yet, and I don't know anyone who's working on it, but that would be cool though.
Ultra is working on that. Mainnet's
and is it cross chain as well?
It's exactly no. Well, they basically forked EOS because they needed so there's nothing. It's just forked EOS, built modified it a bunch so that you wouldn't have to pay for RAM, you wouldn't have to pay for any transaction fees, blah blah blah. There's 16 validators, including AMD and some and I think Ubisoft or something like that. It's legit. I'm very, very excited for that because I see, when people talk about art and NFTs, I kind of roll my eyes a little bit. And trust me, I know there's a market out there, right? Someone sold something for $60 million, but the unique ownership of an item through an NFT, that's exciting, right? And I think that's what's gonna really, and like Elio always talks about too, right? Super farm, exactly. So anyway, let's if we're done with this topic, let's move on because I think people really want to know what the hell is going on right now. And
can I share something?
Yeah, please do.
Okay. I want to see what everyone in here thinks. Where are we at? Okay, so a lot of people are still thinking we're here at this bear trap. Okay, let me give you guys some reality check here. Okay, we are here. We are at fear. Okay, and I know it sounds crazy. But let's look at Bitcoin for a second here. Let's look at this chart, and then let's go back to this one. What do you see? Do you see a top where it pulled back and came up a little bit and started to fall? Maybe it doesn't look exactly. But if we really look at it, we can see that same pattern. Let me go to the weekly, make it nice and big. Okay, you can see a clear pattern here that we topped out. You can see that we mooned super hard. We already had this cycle. This cycle, here is where your friends started to buy in. Here's where your cab driver, your mom, everyone wanted to get in, right here in the enthusiasm phase. Then came greed, then delusion. Everything's going to go up higher, even though it's $1 billion valuation and we haven't even launched on an actual blockchain yet. This is what was happening. Hence, all the DOT projects got wrecked. No offense to any DOT projects. It's just DOT wasn't ready for them and the market was way too hyped up. So we got into greed and delusion. Everything's going to go up forever. And then what happens? We dump and everyone's like, that first dump. No. This dump right here. Everyone's going, no, coach. When you're talking about it going to 42,000, there's no way. We're at 56. There's no way it will go there, right? But then we look here and we see what happens next. So I go, okay, well, if we don't hold 30, we just lost 30. 30 loses, we start going to capitulation. That's my perspective on the market. Maybe it's a little bearish, but I've been bearish for 2 months now. So that kind of makes sense. So I just wanted to give people my perspective on this chart because there's a lot of hopium still in this market for some reason. I don't want you guys to lose money. Nobody who is an influencer that ever did anything, which you guys all believe, we all want you to lose money for some reason because you lost money. We don't want you to lose money. I didn't make a group to try to mint 100 people to be a millionaire for no reason. I want you guys to make money. But the reality is when I was telling you guys we're getting bearish, nobody wants to listen to it. Right?
Ivan, what do you think? I'll chime in and
you guys give your. I'm giving my full perspective. I want to give you guys to give your.
I have a similar experience because, of course, for engagement, for likes, it's bullishness that you need. But the same is on my channel. No, we've been speaking about the downward trend for quite some time, and most importantly, we cannot go above any moving average. 50. We lost 50 day, we lost 200 day. There's another indicator I follow, Larson line, which flipped bearish. a few months back. So I think what we're seeing now is expected, and the next level of support potentially is at 22, but it's a very small support. Maybe you guys can bring up the chart, but the big level is 20. So I think at 20K we're gonna have the bottom. If I am to look a bit longer
If we
term,
get there.
You can share.
if we get there, but it's
If
very
you
put on
strong
it,
support.
it's
It's
a
super
very
strong
straight
support.
If you have your screen pulled up, if you want to share, and I'll put up. Oh no, that's Coach.
If you want, you can share mine. I know exactly where he's talking about. He's talking about the exact same areas that we have. So we only have support at 22, really. Like there's 22, and then there's, basically like a very small support at 26, and then really the next support is at 17. 17,800.
Let me ask you about this for a second, right? So I think last week we were moving sideways for a long time, right? It was just going sideways, bouncing back and forth between these ranges. And everybody said, well, something is going to happen soon. We're either going to go up or break down. And then we had a pretty major retracement in the legacy markets yesterday, right? And from what I remember, from back before, like it was very, very heavy correlation to, if the stocks crash, we're going to crash it no matter what is going on in the crypto market, right? So, do you think, I guess one of the things what I'm trying to ask you guys is that could this fall below 30K be a result only because of the stock market crash versus actually that's where it meant to go? And do you if we see a bounce back in recovery, because we know the Fed's going to print more money, we know the stocks will probably recover, then we could be going back into this kind of, because I felt like it was just an accumulation phase personally. I know that we are in a bearish trend, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. I just want to ask you guys' opinion about that.
Well, stocks have been going up last few months, very much so, and stocks have been performing very well cryptos. And so I think it's when stocks go down, crypto goes down. When stocks go up, crypto maybe goes up, but in a bear trend, it also goes down. So I wouldn't say that correlation is that big now. Maybe on the downward moves, but it's natural. We have to reset this mania, and it will be reset. And I think it will be reset quicker this time because of the stablecoin aspect. I've been speaking about at the start of the show. Everyone is just in stablecoins because everyone knows how to use stablecoins. Everyone now has MetaMask; they can withdraw stablecoins, so they're comfortable crypto citizens and crypto users. And everyone knows that crypto is here to stay; it's gonna get huge. And everyone has this excitement from the DeFi summer and from what has happened. I look forward towards the next wave, but so are many people, and so people are expecting something to happen maybe in 2-3 months, and they are waiting in stablecoins, which will make the recovery quicker. Also, we have so much tech matters in the long term, maybe not in the short term, but in the long term. With, for example, ZK rollups, we have ZK Sync launching in August, which is maybe my favorite scaling solution because it's better than Optimism, it's better than Arbitrum because that scaling solution is truly math. It's the same security as Ethereum base layer, while Optimism and Arbitrum, they make some trade-offs, but ZK rollups is going to be sub-cent transactions, layer 2, same security as layer 1, and this will open up mass adoption because if you can have sub-cent transactions worldwide, then you can do trading, borrowing, lending, you can have exchanges on chain. It's insane. So I think in December, January, we may see a return. At least I hope so. And the world is becoming faster. So I think all the cycles, they become faster. Let's see. But the difference between 2017 and now, when we crashed in 2017 and now, is that in 2018 and 19, we saw zero tech. It wasn't a lot that happened. No developments, very few developments. Now it's a lot. And I think that will, because why is tech important? It brings new interest in the industry. People now say, oh, wow, this is going to change the world. This new tech is going to change the world. And now we just have more of that. So people get more excited. They want to invest more. So that's why I'm actually medium term, I am bullish. But short term, probably 20K. Let's see, guys.
Yeah.
Ivan, with what you're saying, are you expecting Ethereum to tether away from Bitcoin?
Yeah,
Like, are you
and
gonna-
I hope that happens. Yeah, because Ethereum has so much. Everything is on Ethereum. You look at the fees, daily fees. Bitcoin is like 700K, or it's nothing. It's below SushiSwap, is below Uniswap, and Bitcoin has a lot of these issues with environment that people talk about. And while there's a big debate, is it bad for environment, good for him? It doesn't matter. The majority of non-crypto people see it as very bad for environment. So if we can detach from that, we can have the narrative of proof of stake. We have the narrative of financial inclusion, where you can actually do things without middlemen. That's the problem with Bitcoin. You need middlemen for everything. I cannot trade without the middleman in Bitcoin. I cannot do anything really without them. I can just send it. That's the only thing I can do. So in ETH, there's just so much opportunity. The horizons are endless. It's endless. So the way I look at ETH is like iPhone. You can program things. You can do whatever you want. Bitcoin is kind of like Nokia. And fiat is like this phone you pick up and you dial you dial the number. so Bitcoin is Nokia, but Ethereum is iPhone, because there it's endless opportunity. You can program, you can build it. It's so much innovation. In Bitcoin, you cannot really build a lot. Nothing almost you can build on Bitcoin. Maybe you can build exchange, centralized exchange, and that's it. So yeah, I think Ethereum will flip, and the sooner it happens, I think it is better for crypto overall, because then we can have this detachment from whatever happens to Bitcoin happens to everyone else. What do you guys think?
Interesting, man. Yeah.
I think we'll have a little bit of Ethereum doing the same thing that Bitcoin did, though, when that happens, because everything on Uniswap is wrapped ETH, that pair. So if ETH is controlling everything, it might be great for all the ETH pairs for sure. But if ETH dumps super hard at any point, like Bitcoin does, then you're going to see people get really wrecked. And I think that's why people have got really wrecked, because they look at a US dollar value of their portfolio, and they're looking at that portfolio that's looking at wrapped ETH versus that token, and the ETH loses the value, and so does the tokens at the exact same time. And no, you don't really realize that, but that's exactly what happens. And then when people see that happen, they see the liquidity drop, they pull the liquidity, people see liquidity come out, and they start to sell. And it's this crazy thing. And I wish retail would spend the time in this bear market to understand how this works, so that they're ready and they don't panic sell, and they sell little bits at a time on the way up, and they do it the right way, so that the market wouldn't be where it's at. Because the reason why we're as low as we are is because retail panicked, freaked out, and started to sell massively, and it became a race. Who's going to sell it first? Who can get their profit out first? And that's greed. That's why I said we already did the greed phase, because we went there. So that's where.
So Ivan, so you think that when we have an effective scaling solution, that would potentially ignite another bullish market?
Well, it's going to be mass adoption. It's like with the internet, the early developments in the internet started in the 70s, and then there was no adoption in the 80s, and no adoption early 90s, and then suddenly world adoption in late 90s, overnight almost. So I think crypto will have the same thing: no adoption because of high fees, no adoption because of this and that, and then suddenly there is a layer 2 solution that works like Ethereum, and it's subcent, it's instant transactions, and that's where everyone in the world can now trade anything they want on Uniswap, or they can play any financial. And at the end of the day, crypto will always, I think, be about money. Like, people are here because of money. Maybe it's a bit of gaming, but it's financial technology. It's all finance. But that is a big issue in many countries, that you are locked in your country financially. You don't have access to foreign markets. You don't have access to foreign capital, and that creates poverty. Because if I live in some kind of country without any financial infrastructure, and I can invest abroad, I can invest in growing markets. Now I can bring wealth to my country, because maybe I get wealthier that way, and then I can hire people and they get. So yeah, it's a positive spiral that will happen the more we have financial inclusion, and that's what crypto. But right now we have the basis for financial inclusion through Ethereum and other blockchains, but it's too expensive. To do transaction on Ethereum, $200 is, like we discussed, it's like monthly salary in many countries. But with layer 2, it's solved. Yeah.
So is EIP 1559 do you guys think that this is gonna be a massive paradigm shift or something for Ethereum? I mean, it's not. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they're not even switching fully to proof of stake. Isn't it a hybrid at that point, or is it a full switch?
I think sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I was just, it's like 3 halvings in one. So it's just the inflation aspect, and then burning fees. So long term, like halving happened in June, May, and the effect was seen only in December. So maybe in a few months. Yeah.
I feel like it's like when GBTC or whatever started. a couple years ago, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, all the institutions are going to come in," and they bought like, I don't know, a couple hundred at the start, and it just takes time. So I think ETH, yes, it's going to be awesome. People got wrecked. They need to kind of go lick their wounds and kind of come back, sort of, and get new users to come in, because those people will come back. They always do, but they're wrecked right now. So they're probably going to take a little bit of time off. So that's why I think we're going to have a cool off phase. ETH will do its thing. People like us will see, wow, this is awesome. We'll tell everybody about it. And then when things kind of start ramping up again, they'll always come back. It's just, you have to be patient in this time. If you're not, you're going to buy stuff that's chopping you out. And when you actually should be buying, you're not going to have enough capital to make money.
I think to a certain extent, I used to think like what Ivan is saying right now. But what we saw in the previous market, I felt that it didn't matter to people if the coin they were buying was decentralized or not, whether it was on a chain that was decentralized or not. So Ethereum scaling, I was super excited about it. But what I saw happening with many of the other chains, nobody was asking whether the fees, everybody cared about the fees, but they didn't care if the chain was decentralized or not. So I'm not very sure if in the short term, or at least in the next 1 or 2 years, it would make a huge difference, in my opinion. Like, nobody's asking that question, right? Like, nobody's saying that, hey, this doesn't seem decentralized. Like, and so if somebody does, it's being completely ignored on social media, as far as I've seen it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, for people investing, I agree. Short term, if I buy token, it moves. I don't care which chain it's on. But if I'm building a big project, I have billions in value locked. So and then I am on a chain where if you guys have the admin key, it's a whole other topic. If we're looking at some serious applications and projects building, I think it's mostly for projects when they choose where to build. Right now, the problem is you don't really know where. I mean, you could pick Binance chain, but are you gonna put all your funds there for the long term? Who knows? Maybe not. Are you gonna pick Polygon? Well, Polygon is amazing, but also, it's a question of the admin key and who controls the bridge. And if you can say, hey, it's not. If you have ZK Sync, for example, it's the same as ETH but faster. So short term, I agree. People don't. If it moons on Binance chain, I'll take the moon on Binance chain. I'll take the trip to the moon on anywhere. But speaking about big projects,
but it mooned because it was on Binance chain. Right? Like a lot of projects mooned because they were on Matic or Binance chain. So it's not like the value, you're saying millions of dollars locked. They got locked because they were on that particular chain. The fees was low. And then you have Aave, which is doing more transactions on Polygon right now than it's doing on Ethereum right now, which is, something to, question whether the scaling would really add that much of an impact to Ethereum or not. And as excited as I was, currently I have to re-look at and reanalyze whether it's that meaningful or not. Yeah, of course, if you're talking about regulation and institutional money coming in and they want to come into something which is scalable and usable, etc. Well, I think that's very speculative at this moment.
Yeah, well, Polygon is. But Polygon is also a scaling solution. It's just different types of scaling. But people care about the speed. People care about that it's cheap for sure. Yeah.
What I care about is user experience, right? And so I haven't used. I don't know if I've used any application that's been on Polygon or anything like that. But this is a question for you, Ivan, that probably has, or Coach. I don't know if you guys have used these, but like, let's just say that I put paid ignition, our ideal launchpad on Polygon. Would the user have to go through extra steps in order to use it? Like, is there a proxy token or something that's used, or is it basically run in the background to where I don't have to do anything with my ERC20 token? It's automated. Like, I was always in the impression that there would be some type of extra step in order to go to get your ERC20 onto that second layer solution, and that just seems clunky. And I don't know if that's going to be something that's sustainable.
It's super simple though. Like, really going from Ethereum to any other EVM right now is fairly simple. The bridges work just fine, not a problem at all. Getting tokens that are using cross bridge, I've used BSC, Polygon, many other EVM chains. It's fantastic. In fact, I think the battle of EVM is still going to happen. I mean, there is a lot more that, yeah.
But do I have to do that every single time? So if I want to go to Ignition to do an ideal, then I have to use the bridge. And then after I get my tokens, then I have to go the bridge back. And then I want to go trade it on Uniswap. So then and then there's a Uniswap bridge. So do I have to go?
Yeah, it's too much.
This is
the problem.
That's my biggest gripe with layer 2 scaling solutions is the user experience is not friendly for everybody. Like it's a pain in the ass.
No wallet yet is. No wallet is out there that you can be like, all right, send me any fucking USDT and it will go into my wallet and it won't matter which one it is when I send it out. It will just know to send USDT to someone else. Yeah. When they do that, when there's a wallet that just categorizes all your shit and knows to send it out because that's the right number, and wherever you send it to automatically does it too, that's when the crypto will be big. That's when your mom and your aunt, grandma, no one will be like, how do I fucking do this? You have to add an EVM. Try to think about talking to your grandma and being like, okay, get MetaMask, and then you're going to put in all these addresses and fucking chain IDs. Yeah, come on. No one's going to be able to do it. It has to do it for us. That's why Amazon was successful, because they made something I could take my phone right now, buy whatever the flip I want, and it does a billion things on the back end, and I don't give a shit what it does because it gives me what I want. That's what we need in crypto. That's
why we're early, man. Like the reason we have so many opportunities right now is because we are early.
We also need base layer scaling solutions, and this is why like our base layer, not scaling, but base layer solutions on the layer 1 chain. And this is why I was always really like just wondering why the hell they didn't make on Bitcoin like dynamic blocks or something. It would have been such an easy thing to do if you made dynamic blocks where every block could adjust in size in order to accommodate how many transactions there were. That would be such a simple solution to Bitcoin moving at the pace of a snail. But let's talk about infrastructure for a little bit. Like everybody here that knows me knows like how bullish I am on Polkadot. We will see, quite soon how effective that is as a base layer solution as far as transaction speed and fees. We already know that fees can be, if you're running an application on top of a parachain, it depends on the underlying owner of the parachain to set the fee structure. It could be feeless. It could be with fees. We don't know yet, but I'm optimistic on that because, I mean, realistically, guys, I don't think that we're going to get Ethereum 2.0 for years, right? Because there's too much value. It's just like Bitcoin. You can't upgrade the base layer without rigorous testing for months and months, if not years. Before you make an implementation, there's too much value at stake. If you implement code that's vulnerability, every single thing built on top of it becomes susceptible to hacks. We saw that on BSC, right, with all the DeFi platforms getting exploited. So Ivan, tell us a little bit. You stepped away. Everyone knows Ivan from Good Morning Crypto, right? And I think all of us, who are crypto G's, miss you a little bit in our heart, man. The go 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 go.
Exactly.
And
respect the pump.
But I really admire what you're doing. You took a step back, from doing your morning show because you saw a need and something. You saw a big gaping hole in infrastructure, and this is what I've always been focused on. Everything that Master Ventures that we're building is all about infrastructure. Most of my investments have been in infrastructure, and obviously, like Shash said, we're very, very early. Infrastructure isn't even there yet. So for people to expect, why hasn't this and this DApp been adopted? Well, dude, because we're just working on MVPs right now, and we still don't have the proper tools like they do in the legacy world.
Solana. You ever use Solana? It's like the hardest thing to ever use for a new user. Even someone who's been in crypto is like, I don't understand how to freaking use this thing.
I tried to look at my transaction on Sol Explorer or whatever. I don't even know. It didn't even show me how much coins I sent to anyone. It just sent me a bunch of data. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? I have no idea.
Click on the transaction to find. It's actually quite confusing. It's super fast and cheap, but the confusion level is like here for a new user.
So Ivan, we had a call a few weeks ago. He told me about Morales, and I think that I think it's important. Maybe just talk a little bit about why you took a step back from your show and to take a lot more time to focus on what you're building, and why you believe that will be critical to the developer ecosystem within blockchain.
Well, we discussed the issues, and when you talk about the user experience issue, imagine how it is for developers. And we focus on developers because as a developer today, you have to make a big decision. Do you build on Ethereum, do you build on Polkadot, on Solana, on Binance, on Polygon? And that's not how it is when you build, for example, a PC app when you build a PC app, you build for Windows and it works on all PCs. You don't care about, is it AMD processor, it is this RAM or that RAM. You just build your app and it works everywhere. So Moralis is that kind of like Windows for blockchain, that you build your app and it works on Ethereum, on Binance Chain. For example, one of the key features is user management. As soon as the user logs into your app, if it's built with Moralis, you get all the information about that user on all chains, all NFTs, all transactions, Ethereum tokens, everything on all chains. And you just focus on user experience. You focus on making the app great instead of doing the infrastructure, because it's a hell. To build a crypto app today and just speaking to a node, to an RPC node, it's a hell, because you have to build your own infrastructure around it, your own server, your own database, your own indexing. So, and everyone is doing that themselves. So we basically take all of these things that all developers do themselves, and we create a product where we say, hey, if you use this, you get everything for free. Just do the actual user experience. You get all the information about everything, all real-time transactions, historic transactions. And by the way, for all of you guys who are watching this, if you want your project, whatever bag you're holding, if you want it to moon, tell them to contact us, because their development will be way quicker if they use Moralis. Look at the roadmap. Look at the roadmap and imagine it was 10 times faster. That's the power of Moralis. So go and contact them and tell them to DM me on Twitter. I will show them. Yeah.
This is not financial advice, but we're going to be building with Moralis, right? So,
but I need to know more about this. This is new to me. Ivan, tell me what is this, man? How does it work? Like give me a quick step for a developer. How do they approach you? What do you do? And what is this set of infrastructure that you're providing?
Yeah. So let me share the screen here. Let me know if you can see this. And I can show you some code here, code examples.
Since when have you been building this? I had no idea.
Well, we went live with it in production since June. So it's quite recent, but we've been developing this for quite some time. But for example, can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
So as a developer, if I use Moralis Authenticate, I write one line of code like this, and this will run the MetaMask sign-in or Fortmatic Wallet Connect sign-in. As soon as user signs in, Moralis ensures that all the data about the user that just signed in is in your Moralis database by default. It's like Firebase in that regard. Firebase in traditional web development and mobile development. We give you all the information about the user as soon as this. You don't have to do anything. Normally, when the user signs in, now you as a developer need to figure out, how do I get transactions, NFTs, the balances, and how do I do it on all chains? And if it's not EVM chain that I'm interested in, I have to start from scratch. That's the problem that many projects have right now on, for example, Binance Chain or Ethereum. How do they go to Solana? They can't. They need to start from scratch. How do they go to Elrond? They can't. They have to start from scratch. So if you build Moralis, you build on Ethereum, it also works on Solana, because we just abstract away the complexity and the differences between Ethereum and Solana. If you don't care, your user, if he or she is on Solana, you get all the transactions, all the tokens, all NFTs for Solana as well. So I think this will propel the development a lot. And you can, if you are a developer, you're watching this, you can read more. For example, to get NFT balance of a user, you just specify which blockchain, which address, that's it. And this works on any chain. You want historical transactions, real-time transactions. Whenever something happens on chain, your app needs to know. Very easy with Moralis on all chains. Also, smart contract events you can watch, and you can do anything. But at the end of the day, the big picture is that we need to accelerate blockchain development. Right now, we're building with primitive tools. It's like, we have this mud axe or something, we can build a mud hat from the axe that we made also from mud. You cannot build a lot. You need more complicated tools to build more complex things so that we can all propel each other further. So that's the biggest opportunity that I saw. And that's also why I'm not doing YouTube as much, although I do a few times per week. But I just feel that this really propels this industry forward. And we've had such great feedback on from developers and projects adopting this. So yeah, it's been a good journey, and we're only in the beginning.
So this goes for all. Sorry, I have so many questions.
Yeah.
Sorry. We could, Shash, Ivan, you could have a chat with him one-on-one. He'll probably tell you all about it. You could probably even invest in it if you would like. But this is like, if you look at the systems that we're all trying to make more efficient through blockchain, and then dig a little bit deeper, you find you find things. We have these applications that we're trying to disrupt, and then you look at the infrastructure it's built on, and then you often find, if you're comparing the incumbent, the legacy solution you're trying to disrupt, there's other infrastructure that they had to build in order for them to become where they are today. right? Like Amazon, your coach, your example, there was a lot that had to be done for Amazon to become Amazon, right? And if you just look at Amazon today, you wouldn't realize all of this technological advancements that allow it to become what it is: automation, like tracking, AI, all this stuff, right? And what we don't realize is that like we need to create new tools that are the equivalent in the crypto world for the technology for Web3 that we're building right now. And like another example, I'm telling you guys this point because I want you all to everyone watching this understand where we are still, right? We're still so super early, and as much as like today it was a shitty day in the market, and as much as you guys were looking at your portfolio today versus 2 months ago and hanging your head low and being bummed out because you didn't sell at the top and blah blah blah, you have to realize that just how early you are, and not to be discouraged. And honestly, unless you're a coach and you spend 3-4 years of your life learning how to be a day trader, you're not going to make money on short-term trading. You're not going to do it, right? So what I try to portray on the show a lot, and why I had Ivan come into Morales, is because you guys need to look at everything that we're building on the back end. And just like, another example that it's perfect, what we're building at Master Ventures, another product is like, with financial institutions, all the brokers who deal with any type of trading or anything like that, you have infrastructure built in between them. Every single bank has SWIFT built in between it. FX trading systems have infrastructure that the super highways that are being built in between it. Even Engine is building an NFT super highway to connect all the different NFT marketplaces together. We're building something that's similar for digital asset exchanges. Like crypto exchanges are all very, very isolated and fragmented when it comes down to liquidity. What would make trading a lot better would be a global order books or aggregated liquidity in an efficient way that would allow mom and pop exchanges to open up all over the world and not have a huge barrier to entry, which is the issue of liquidity. So like we've been working since 2018 on a solution to connect exchanges so that they can pool liquidity and work together, to be better together, right? The rising tide, rises all ships. And just chill out, everybody, for a little bit, please. Like everyone's freaking out, and you just need to relax. Yeah, but just relax, look at this as it's not a get rich quick scheme. You're not going to go out and you're not going to be that redneck family that happened to buy Shiba Inu, 5 months ago and happened to make a few $1 million, but they probably got wrecked since then anyway. We're building, and this is why I was fascinated by what Ivan was building, because at Paid Network we come across issues all the time, and it's learning how to adapt to build. Like our developers are awesome. They've been around for a long time. They're very skilled, but there's a learning curve when it comes to trying to build an application in a centralized fashion versus how to try to do it in a Web3 environment, for example. And so in my opinion, if you're watching the show because you're an investor and you want to make money, be smart, do your own research, do due diligence. And look at the people who are building, and this is a really good test. This time right now, you will tell which projects that maybe seemed hot 6 weeks ago have pretty much already given up because things got a little rough. And it's some of my favorite projects like Elrond and Thorchain and these ones that from 2017-18 got started, had to continue to build during this enormous, and these guys are like, even Thorchain and Sifchain are building incredible infrastructure, on the back end. And so, anyway, guys, like, I love this space, and you guys are all like, Ivan, I really, like I said, I do appreciate what you're doing, because I think what you're doing is going to be absolutely instrumental for the development of this. And like you said, you will allow, what you're building, what Web3 Foundation builds, Substrate, it allows guys like myself, who never wants to write a line of code, but has business logic. We see gaping holes. We see infrastructural needs. We have business logic that we want to be done, and it's guys like you and Gavin and things like that are building things that make it easier for us to just build out the business model that we want to build. So thank you for that, by the way. That's my little rant, I guess. I go on crypto Twitter and I just like, I sometimes, like I just can't stand it. I don't know if you guys watched the crypto banter the other night with Richard Hart, but man, my God, like Richard's fun. We hung out in Malta, like the guy like talks a lot of crap, but he's a cool guy. But man, he said we're going to 10K, and I just about it just, please people just like focus on more on the big picture here. Yeah.
Well, that's what Richard's focused on a lot about the money, right? Like he's always focused on like how much money you can make with Hex and money and money and money, which honestly, that's what most people care about. So I get it. The only thing about Hex that I'm really waiting to have an interview with him to find out is he using that million ETH to do what the governments do with banks and using it as a loan to actually make money so Hex actually can have value in the back end. Like it's the only thing I figured out in my brain that I can actually fathom that's where the money's coming from, because banks do give you interest, but they make money. And if you can't make money with Hex, he must be doing it with the million ETH, because he doesn't say where it is. That was like the frustrating part for every decentralized crypto person, was like, but you don't have transparency, you're not telling us who has stuff. And he's probably doing that to protect himself. But I think it's an interesting project, and he's a very interesting character. He's fun to talk to for sure.
Yeah.
When you're not Alexander's, I guess, too, because that was kind of brutal. I felt bad for him. I felt pretty bad for him.
Okay, guys, we got to wrap it up here. Is there anything else that you wanted to add before we sign off?
One last thing. Yeah, now, apparently, there's a $160 million bid at around $28,000 seen on heat maps. That could mean two things. So people might tell you it's super bullish. It could be if we get there and it doesn't get pulled. But the thing is, people bait a lot of people, so they put their orders in the same area, and then when they drop it, they pull it, and you get filled, and it keeps going down. So be very careful with those things. I'm seeing some of that, but if it does start to fill that area, that's a very positive thing too. I've also seen today there was someone who bought about 144,000 Bitcoin in December of 2018. They bought all of it in transactions of 8,000 Bitcoin. That person today just bought Bitcoin. So I know I say a lot of negative shit. I just want to give a little bit of the positive side to end it. There is some positive stuff here, but can we go to 10K or 20K? Yes, that's the reality. So just be smart about it. If that's money you can't afford to lose, don't lose it, right? Use it for what you need it for. Be smart. I know crypto seems like a great plan, a great thing. It is for 8 months every 4 years. So be patient. That's all I'm going to tell you. And if we get another bull market in 6-7 months, awesome. But you got to hear it like that, because everyone's telling you too much opium. And I'd rather you guys be a little bit bearish and in cash, and then the market starts to go up and you get back in and you're like, yeah, than to be completely wrecked. And I've seen it happen too much.
I think there's been so many studies about dollar cost averaging. I think they even said that if you had a dollar cost average like in December 2017, just consistently even till today, you'd be up in profits. And because the fact of the matter is that like it's hard not to have a tremendous amount of hopium when I pay attention to like global macro news. It seems to me like, and so and last thing, anyone watching here, if you ever think that like that Bitcoin or is going to be dead or going to zero, you have to pay more attention, because this is insane, right? It's now accepted as a global reserve, global currency, and it's going. This is the direction that we're headed in. So, have your diamond hands, have conviction, learn the tech, understand what it is, because if you haven't read the Bitcoin white paper yet, please do that. Should be step number 1, and you'll have to read it like 15, 20 times because it's super complicated. But anyway, that's my piece. Ivan, what are you looking forward to most in the space right now?
Well, the best thing anyone can do in this space is to build, and I'm not just saying that because we need better. We need better tech, but also for your own self-interest. If you think about like what you can do in this space, you can invest. Like you can buy some coin, maybe it goes up, maybe it goes down. But if you want zero risk, investment you can make. Just put your time into some project, join a project. It's insane how much money is flowing into crypto from traditional VCs. They want to be in crypto. Everyone knows that crypto is going to be big, and if you do something in crypto, you're literally maybe the first person in the world that does it. You cannot do it in any other industry. So it's so much opportunity building. It's like being one of the first internet companies. There was a tremendous opportunity. Is it difficult to succeed still? Of course, it's always difficult to succeed in any industry. But if it's the easiest one is crypto, and it's the most exciting industry in the world. So I would say join some project, build something, and just see what you can achieve. Also for your own self-interest, because people watching this, of course, I think the number one priority for many is how do I make money here? Is it to buy some? Should I buy here, short here, long here? And the solution for your own self-interest, joins the project. That's gonna pay off the best and lowest risk.
Yeah, I agree. Join projects, but learn how to add value to a project, right? Like it took me the bear market to be like, what can I do to add value? I can trade, but that doesn't really help a project that much. So how can I actually add value to you? And I'm like, oh crap, I've been in recruitment, I've been in marketing.
Exactly.
Like maybe I could find some new ways to help these projects. Next thing I know, I'm like, shit, I'm really good at math. Maybe I could take a crack at tokenomics, paid, split, Eternity, Phoenix Flow later, So just try. Because the thing that I learned at the top of the cycle, which made me feel like we're at the top, is we were all so tired and there weren't enough people. There's literally so many people want to build, but there's not enough people to build it. So if you're a coder, take some Solidity. Go learn Rust. Go learn. Take your time. Go learn how to market. Try stuff. Go apply yourself. The problem is most people want all the benefits, but don't want to do the actual work. It's like an iceberg. There's a shit ton of stuff you have to do underneath to get the ice out of the water. So you only see what's out of the water. The stuff that we do all for those 3 years, that was not seen by any of you because you weren't watching, right? So I think it's really important that everyone understand that you all can add value. There is so much opportunity. There is so much opportunity in every space of this industry. Because I know for a fact, 20 projects looking for people.
Let's do another show like later this week or something, just about ways that people can get in the space. Because I talk about this all the time. I think 98% or so of the people that I've met in crypto, it was the best decision that they've ever made in their entire life. And everybody I know is super passionate about this. And this is why, right now we're at House of DAO here in Thailand. And if you want to be surrounded by like-minded people, come out here. It's like a conference environment, 24/7, 365, and you're surrounded by people. If you want to learn, if you want to accelerate that, take Ivan's classes, just get involved. It will be the most valuable thing that you can do, because the writing is on the wall, ladies and gentlemen. This is happening. There's so much money pouring into this, and it's literally the greatest transfer of wealth that we have ever seen in anyone's generations ever, except for maybe the gold rush or something like that. But that was,
I kind of resonate with all of you guys here, and I think one of the key things is that to become a better investor in crypto, really spending time in working with companies helps understand things so much better from an intricate perspective. What the hell is going on? Most people aren't able to figure out why are they investing in it. They don't know what's going on, the good, bad, the ugly, where's the positive, where's the negative. And I think just working with companies, you'll start investing in better companies. You'll figure out what's good and bad. So I think it kind of boils down to that. And I think the last thing I want to say is congratulations to Kyle on launching the Polkadot Fund. I think it's a huge achievement, and I think that's one of the most exciting things for me to happen. I'm super excited and inspired by what you're doing, and it's pretty cool.
Thank you,
guys. He's got the best deal flow probably in the industry, and I can say that because I've been here a while. He literally has been in the best projects, including Coinbase and other ones. So it's I talked to you today, Kyle. I'm like, how? I'm like, if you even really tried yet? And he was like, nah, not really. My friends really wanted to come in. And I was like, all right, cool. You're going to have no problem raising your fund, dude. I don't know anyone else. When I can't get something, I can call and actually probably can get it for me. So, it's just somehow everybody. You're like me, but the people I don't know, you know all of them. It's crazy. It's awesome.
10 years in the space, and going to countless conferences for 2 years, every single week at a conference will help you do that. But on that note, guys, also on some really, really good news, guys. This is fun. Let's make this literally the biggest giveaway ever. We're gonna wait And when we have alt season, this is going to be worth like $10 million or something. And I literally cannot wait to give it away to everyone. So you guys blow this up, smash the like, don't forget it. Thank you, Ivan. Thank you, Shash. Thank you,
Thanks,
Coach.
guys.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your time, and I'll catch you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Later.